What motivated me?
Inspired you?
It wasn't originally going to be an album of Torch songs. It was going to be an album of songs that were of that particular period, which is a period of songwriting occurring primarily around the Broadway plays of the 40s and 50s, and the motion pictures as well. And as I got into delving for material, I found out that most of the material that I liked singing were the songs about lost love, the Torch songs, the songs about pain and heartache. And so it turned into Torch. But I suppose the reason I wanted to do it was because ever since I was a child, I've been singing those songs, because my mother was a singer, even though she wasn't a professional singer, and my father was a pianist, even though that's not what he did for a living either. And so there was always a lot of music around the house, and those were primarily the songs that we listened to as kids. And so I would be sung those songs as nursery rhymes instead of Mary Had a Little Lamb and Twinkle Twinkle Little Star at Night. I would hear songs like Body and Soul that my mother was singing to me, or Moaning Low. I particularly remember that one. It isn't quite the same. There are occasional songs which do it, but primarily the songs of my contemporaries are either more complicated or more simple, and they don't have a kind of a subtlety that those songs had. To my mind, the song "I Get Along Without You Very Well" by Hoagy Carmichael is the perfect song, because it has a very simple irony that is, it's so simply stated. I get along without you very well. Of course I do, and it's of course I don't. But it's so well put. Like the last verse, except perhaps in spring, but I should never think of spring, for that would surely break my heart in two. I don't think any contemporary composer would dare put something so heart-rending and perhaps corny and say it in such a way.
Which is your favorite song in this entire album, personally?
I Get Along Without You Very Well.
I Get Along Without You Very Well.
I think this album taught me one thing, and that is that taking a chance is a great art. You have to do it if you're an artist. You have to take a chance, and I'll never not take risks again. I've not taken risks in the past, and I've been disappointed in myself, but I'll never, the next album that I do is likely, to be more of a risk than this one.
You mean you do a country album like Elvis Costello?
No, but I can see myself doing an album of Irish drinking songs from the 15th century.
Oh, great.
And I know a lot of them. I love to have a drink. I need to have a drink. I like to have a drink right now.
Oh, that go right to the top of the chart.
It's very hard. It's like preventative medicine in a sense. As parents, you have to deal with children's predilections toward escape and towards drugs before they get to that stage. And I think if parents can give their children a sense of self-worth, and if they can give them a lot of love and attention early on, give them a sense of themselves, then when it comes time that their friends are turning on to drugs and trying to turn them on to drugs, they will have enough of a feeling of self-respect not to want to destroy themselves.
How does that all work?
A good point.
Yes.
A good point. Well, you have to give a little here and a little there, Often I feel like I'm derelict in my duties,
You would have to.
And sometimes I feel as if, hey, this is great that I can keep it together to the extent that I do. It's very, very difficult. You have to be egoless to the degree that, two performers in the same family is hard because performers by their very nature are competitive.
Right.
And
so you got a competition trip going that's inherent.
That's right.
To start with.
James and I are both singers and performers, and so that was definitely a strain. Although I think that could have been worked out with a great deal of understanding. I think that you really have to sit down and not let the communication flag for a minute. I think you have to be on top of each other and stay there. I think that you just have to be very conscious of the other one's needs and be tremendously willing to give. But you both have to be willing to give, because if just one of the partners is willing to give, then a lot of resentment is going to incur, because it's not an equal, it's not a two-way street. I think relationships have to be mutual. I think that you have to, I think people have to give 50-50, or if not 50-50, 60-40, but nothing balanced than that. God, well, being asked a personal question like this over television where a lot of people are looking at it makes me want to take a jump.
Yeah.
It makes me want to just go over there and jump down.
Yeah.
But it's a fairly, you know, accepted fact that we are separated.
Yes.
We're not living together. We are, we're both doing fine. Both mother and child are doing fine. We are, we're in a better state now than we have been in quite a while. And I don't have any feelings of regret about having been married to James. We had 9 wonderful years together.
And 2 wonderful children again.
And 2 wonderful children. And I think it's to our credit that we realized when things were no longer really mendable.
Yes.
And that...
At least right now.
Yes, and for the foreseeable future. And I think that we're both, I mean, that we've both come to terms with that. And, you know, hopefully we'll stay friends and we'll always be the, you know, parents of these
2 children.
Yes. And I mean, there's certainly, I've learned so much from James, and you know, hopefully he from me, that we've grown as people because of each other. And I mean, I wouldn't have had it any other way.